So imagine living in a place where you get in trouble for doing the right thing, where if somebody is threatening your right as a citizen or a business, you get threatened with fines. Well, welcome to California, where you have Target over here that is trying to report crime, and you have people threatening them with fines for actually doing what they're supposed to do.
For that, new at 8, the city attorney in Sacramento threatening a Target store with a public nuisance charge if employees continue to call police for ongoing thefts. The Sacramento Bee reporting that Susanna Wood's office also threatened to fine the store. After learning about the city's warning, state lawmakers added an amendment to a retail theft bill outlawing these types of threats to businesses. It's not clear why the city attorney and her office would issue warnings to businesses seeking assistance from police. Wood's office and the Sacramento police say they are unaware that such a threat had been made to the store.
And this is the thing I don't understand about California. It's almost like they want to incentivize crime for some reason, right? Especially with the laws that they create. And not just incentivize crime, but they also want to create laws that are anti-business. It's almost like they are trying to destroy California single-handedly, and I'm trying to understand what's the reasoning for this. Like, what is the purpose of creating laws that's all it's doing is hurting the people that live there? When it comes to business, when you're trying to create jobs, when it comes to actually businesses trying to protect themselves from lawlessness, but all you do is create laws that incentivize more bad behavior. And when I saw this when I saw this in the news, when it showed that in California, there's this Sacramento attorney that's threatening to fine Target for actually reporting crime. I'm like, okay, what else are they supposed to do if there's crime being placed on their place of business? They're doing the right thing by calling authorities. But when you got a place like California where all they're doing is saying, you know what, you can commit crime and not get in trouble for doing so, then what is it going to do? You're going to just see more crime. And it just amazed me when I see this thing happening. It's just like, why? Well, California, like, what is the purpose? What is your reasoning behind doing this? And obviously it's happening all across like the United States in certain areas, liberal cities, right? We all see that, where there's just abundant crime just going on and nothing is being done about it, and all that's going to do is just force these businesses to say, you know what, I don't want to conduct business here in this place where I'm not, my rights are not protected, so I'm just going to leave. And of course all that does is hurt them, right? So what? Let's read the news and see what's going on in Sacramento, because this is, when I saw this, I was like, this can't be real, right? It makes absolutely no sense for something like this to be allowed. So let's hear what they got to say.
Target store turnaround. Land Park neighbors say in the battle over retail theft statewide, police and the retail giant have worked to clean up a big problem spot in downtown Sacramento that had become overwhelmed with crime.
In tonight's Politics at Large, Steve is live in Land Park with a change with Target's new practice of crime prevention. Steve.
Well, we've all seen the viral videos that have made retail theft a problem and a political issue all across the state. It got so bad here, we've learned that the city attorney's office even drafted a nuisance letter against this Target store last year. Since then, things have changed. This cell phone video from 2023 shows thieves at this downtown Target store loading up shopping carts of merchandise and taking off through a side door.
I mean, literally, people were pushing carts full of items out the emergency exit door, and the security guards were just closing the door and walking away.
You imagine that. You got security guards like, you know what? I get the economy is rough right now, man. It's expensive to get the things that you need, but you know what? Do what you gotta do, man. I understand it's rough out here. Take what you need. Just make sure to close the door behind you on your way out, right? And they can't even do that. So what? The security guard goes and closes the door for them and just lets them do it. And what's the point of even having a security guard? Like, if the security guard can't even do anything, what is the point of having them there? They're just observing crime? Like, it makes no sense. It's gotten to a point where security guards are just like, you know what? All right, let me just close the door because, obviously they got what they need, and let me just, go about my business because I'm not trying to risk my life for this nonsense. So it's a shame that it's gotten to this point. So it's just stupid.
Land Park activist Stephanie Duncan even sent police a message about the crime, only to get this response from a lieutenant reading, "Thanks, Stephanie. Unfortunately, without Target participating, Sacramento police couldn't take enforcement action."
It told me that a year ago, Target was really not doing their due diligence to crack down on crime.
Now, Duncan says
What you want them to do? What do you want them to do? Like they tried things and then, obviously there's no response. Like there's nothing. These criminals just come out and just do the same thing. And if you're going to punish them for actually doing something, you're just going to incentivize them to say, just take what you got to take. Like what you want them to do?
Target has taken a new approach. As first reported by the Sacramento Bee and confirmed by City Hall sources, the city attorney's office crafted a draft letter that was not sent, warning about nuisance action against Target. Corporate management then worked with Sacramento City leaders and police on theft mitigation, adding security, lighting, and locking down merchandise.
I hope.
And that's the craziest thing. Like you're putting the onus on Target to say, all right, we need to do something about crimes. And what do we do? Let's lock everything up. Right, let's put everything behind lock and key. So therefore, we got to ask for assistance. Hey, can you open this thing for me? Making the customer experience even worse. Right, you're gonna make people not want to shop. Then you're just making it more inconvenient for people to want to buy your stuff. This is not conducive for a successful business. Right. So instead of actually the city putting the onus on them and saying, you know what, let's lock criminals up and then keep them there so they can stop committing crime. Let's say Target, you need to do a better job to stop crime theft in your business. Like, it's just dumb, makes absolutely no sense.
Hope they continue on that trajectory because I've seen what happens when they don't.
Sacramento Councilmember Rick Jennings represents this area and issued a statement reading in part, Target's acknowledgement of the problems and ongoing efforts to enhance both the customer and neighboring community experience are greatly appreciated.
I fully support this effort.
As state lawmakers haggle over crime laws and Prop 47 reforms, threats of nuisance letters from cities and police have also become part of the public debate.
I was shocked here to hear people now being threatened with being declared a nuisance.
Surprised to hear that anyone would ever attempt to make a nuisance case.
In California's battle over retail theft,
I think it's just a matter of Target actually taking proactive steps to stop theft.
this one-time target for criminals has turned into a retail crime-fighting success story. Now, an assembly retail theft bill would...
So at least the good thing is, right, these state lawmakers got together and said, you know what, all right, you can't do this, right? You can't threaten a store, a business for reporting crime, right? I mean, at least the good thing is that some of these state lawmakers has come to the sense to say, all right, this is not, we got to change this. Like, this doesn't make sense. If somebody's reporting crime, you can then threaten them with a fine for doing that. So it's just crazy because, like, I mean, you see so many businesses leaving the state because just, you know, obviously you got crime, you got homelessness, things are more expensive because of increased minimum wage laws. That just the policies that are being put in place is just making the place worse to be there. We're making it worse for people that live there, making it worse for businesses. It's just when you're talking about an economy, all you're doing is making the economy much tougher for everyone to live there. What's the purpose? I don't know. I'm trying to understand. It's like, why? Like, I mean, obviously you want to stay in power, but it just you're driving businesses out and you're forcing people that live there to struggle. But however, maybe a lot of people that live there brought it upon themselves, right? Especially with this whole Prop 47 thing, which made, if I'm not mistaken, it made authorities to loosen on a crime. Like if somebody commits a crime, they're not punished harshly, and it was voted on by the people that live there. So maybe they brought it upon themselves. I don't understand why. Mental illness, I have no idea why you would do that. But I mean, you brought this upon yourself, right? You keep voting in these things, and this is what you get. So I'm just going to read this quick article because it also goes into detail about, you know, when it comes to this Sacramento City Attorney threatening to fine Target for reporting theft crimes. So they go into a little bit more detail. So I'm going to read that real quick. So it says, all right, the city of Sacramento, California legal department threatened to fine a popular retail store for public nuisance over numerous calls to police after thieves stole from the Land Park location multiple times, according to a report. The Sacramento Bee reported that a person with knowledge of the warning who wanted to remain anonymous out of fear they could be retaliated against said Sacramento officials warned they would issue an administrative fine to the target at 2505 Riverside Dale Boulevard. A police spokesman confirmed that location to the publication after being asked about the alleged warning. After learning about the city's warning and comparable actions across the state lawmakers added an amendment to a retail theft bill outlawing these type of threats toward businesses from authorities. And that's good. I'm surprised they actually did that, right? Because it seems like everything these lawmakers these laws that these lawmakers implement seem to be everything against businesses, be anti-business. It makes things more expensive, right? It seems to do everything that makes owning a business there disincentivizes you to want to own a business there. So I'm kind of surprised they actually implemented this type of law. So, and that's a good thing. All right, so it says Governor Gavin Newsom, Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas, and State Senator Mike McGuire are pushing a package with 14 bills that tighten penalties on retail theft offenses. The lawmakers believe this legislation will help deal with retail theft crimes rather than pass changes to Proposition 47. They should just get rid of Proposition 47 because that's the thing, but they clearly don't want to do that for some reason, obviously. So it says last month, California Secretary of State announced the petitioners had garnered more than enough signatures to place a measure to reform Proposition 47 on the November ballot. Prop 47, a voter-approved initiative passed in 2014, loosened the penalties for drug and theft crimes in the state and has been blamed for California's rampant theft problems. I think we can all agree, yeah, I'm pretty sure that played a big role in why the theft has increased in certain states, especially in California. And it says shortly after the measure to reform Prop 47 was approved, legislators in the Democratic-controlled Capitol and Sacramento began debating legislation that say would address crime in that state. Critics say the move is essentially a poison pill that Democrats will use to discourage people from voting to fix Prop 47 in November by arguing that doing so would undo the legislation that combats crime. Newsom keeps insisting that reports of theft are dropping. Well, now we know why. Not only are thieves left out of even a slap on the wrist, but now the victims are being threatened for even reporting crimes, California Assembly GOP leader James Gallagher told. And think about it. They talk about how crime has gone down. Well, if you're not reporting crime, if you're not arresting criminals, then of course crime is going to go down. It's crazy because I remember watching this show, right? Was it The Wire? If you haven't seen that Wire, you should check that show out. It's a great show. And you can see just the politics when it comes to policies being implemented, when it comes to education, when it comes to law enforcement, the way they like to skew numbers, the way they like to manipulate data to make it show that things are going better, right? They say crime is going down, but if you're not arresting anyone, if you're not, holding criminals accountable, then of course crime is going down when you're not reporting it. But we all see, if you're someone that lives there, you see crime is running rampant in certain cities, and you're like, how's crime going down when I see it every day? So it's just amazing when you see that, and you see the way they manipulate data and they control information. It's just like, yeah, no, this is not working. And you see that going here. It's just like crime is dropping. No, it's not. Like, if you're allowing crime to happen, you're not reporting, of course crime is going to drop. But we all see it in our faces, right? So it says, everyone can see that Newsom's pro-criminal policies are a failure, no matter how much his allies try to cover it up. Criminal defense attorney Nicole also weighed in on the matter, telling Fox News politicians in California are leaving citizens out to dry as crime begets crime. So I'm not going to read the whole rest of the thing, but you can see what's going on, man. It's ridiculous that you would threaten a business or anyone for reporting crime, right? You as a law-abiding citizen, you're trying to do the right thing, and then you're being punished for doing the right thing, right? All it's going to do is disincentivize people to do the right thing, right? It's just going to allow more crime to happen and just allow criminals to just do what they want if you're not going to punish them. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Make sure you leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and share. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, right? So, guys, take care. Have a good one. Later.